Stephanie Spina, and thank you all for coming. This is my journey on how I got here. So my family gives a whole new meaning to Full House. Between my parents, my 2 younger brothers, my sister, a dog, a cat, fish, and even chickens. Yes, I have 6 chickens. I know it may sound odd, but they're actually pretty cool pets. Although my family might drive me crazy sometimes, okay, a good majority of the time, they're the main reason why I am who I am today. They played a big role, I played a big role in helping to raise my brothers. Every day after school, I would pick them up and would be in charge of them until my parents would come home. And even after they would come home, I would still help them out. I would help them with homework and really whatever they needed. In a way, I feel them as if they were my own. I feel responsible for them and would do anything to keep them safe. It may be at the cost of a social life, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Still, they're not the easiest children to take care of. My brother Matthew has autism. Growing up with a brother with special needs did have its challenges, but I wouldn't ask for him any other way. I was able to learn how to be more patient, and just because a person has a disorder doesn't mean they're incapable of living a full life. My youngest brother, Joey, has ADHD, just like me. I'm able to relate to his struggles in school. Luckily for him, I was able to learn on my own how to manage it, so I'm able to give him tips and tricks that have helped me in the past. Many people don't understand how difficult it is to manage with a learning disorder. There are many times where I felt ashamed for not being able to keep up with the other students. In 4th grade, I had to transfer to another school that offered smaller classes. The transition was very hard on me, but it was for the best. Even though I was in classes with other students who had to face the same difficulties as I did, I still felt embarrassed for being slower than what some may call normal. Eventually, this led me into a deep depression. I had no will, no strength to go on. Still, I didn't want to self-harm because I didn't want the last thing people to remember me by is being weak. So instead, I hoped I would go caused by some kind of accident. I prayed every night that after I'd go to sleep, I wouldn't wake up. Then suddenly, I started becoming ill. So I died. My whole life, I was no stranger to sickness. I was always getting put on antibiotics and just going to the doctor all the time. There were a lot of people who believed that I was just being dramatic and was just doing it to get out of doing my responsibilities. It wasn't until early last year that my symptoms was given a name. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. For those who don't know what this disease is, it simplified is my antibodies don't recognize themselves and attack themselves. They detect my antibodies as a foreign body and try to get rid of it. So while my body's busy destroying itself, there's actual foreign bodies are able to come in and attack my immune system. This makes me much more vulnerable to becoming sick than others. It has also brought other health disorders upon me. I was diagnosed with tachycardia and a mitral valve prolapse, which both affect the heart. The tachycardia causes my heart to constantly beat fast. A At times it causes me to become faint. Other health issues I am working through is having rheumatoid arthritis. The arthritis affects the joints throughout my body. This has made any kind of movement extremely painful. The list goes on and on about the health disorders I have and how they affect me. I was diagnosed with all of these within a very short period of time. Although I was relieved to finally know what it was and have some answers as to why I was always feeling the way I was, it didn't make the news any easier. I tried to stay positive and tell myself that getting a diagnosis was a good thing and it meant I could be closer to get treated and hope. But unfortunately that was not the case. The doctors gave me various medications to help me be more comfortable until there was a cure. Even with all the medications and tricks, the pain is still crippling, both physically and mentally. You might not think this looking at me, but on the inside I am doing my best to do things as simple as standing or as small as hold a pen. I constantly feel tired and weak, the way a normal person would feel as they are fighting a cold or the flu is the way I feel every day. I have to use all my strength to hide it and power through my day. I don't want to just sit around and feel sorry for myself because I'm sick. If anything, I am more driven to live a full life now than I ever was before. I normally don't tell people about my health issues because I don't want them to think of me differently. I especially don't want people to take pity on me. Yes, it is difficult to deal with, but I'm not letting it stop me. With the way I was feeling, I felt like I wasn't going to live a long life. Suddenly, after hoping for something like this to happen, I realized I didn't want to give up on life. I became scared at the thought of dying. Finally, I decided to change my life. I wanted to live every day like it was my last. I wanted to live with no regrets and try everything, even if it scared me. I didn't want to miss a single opportunity. So this disease might have made me physically weak, but it has made my will so much stronger. It has opened my eyes to the beauty on life and how precious each moment is. Looking back on my 4 years of high school, the best decision I've ever made was transferring over to the culinary program. Originally, when I had to make the decision on what class I would take at BOCES, I was torn between 2 choices. Ever since I was a little girl, I had a strong passion for baking. Even though I really enjoyed baking, I never thought I was going to be skilled enough to make it an actual career, and that I would just keep it as a hobby. This was something, since I wanted, sorry about that. I decided to take computer animation instead because it was something that I wanted to learn for a long time, and I figured I could find a baking class outside of BOCES. I learned some new things in the animation class, but I wasn't happy. After endless efforts of trying to switch classes, an opening finally came up and I was able to transfer. This was the first step in the right direction. Since I was only there for the end of the year, people doubted I would be able to pass the final exam. Even with the odds against me, I didn't give up. So after countless hours of studying, I was able to pass. I really wanted to be in the advanced baking class, but they normally don't take students who haven't gone through the full year course. grown so much through the advanced baking. I was not only able to learn different recipes and how to properly make them, but I learned the academics that related to the trade. I quickly realized that I wanted a job that makes me happy. If I wanted a job that makes me happy, then I should pursue being a pastry chef. I was able to improve my talent I wasn't even aware of having. I looked forward to every day there. I was always excited to learn. Yes, you didn't mishear that. A teenager actually just said, excited to learn. I was happy to do anything needed while I was there. Most students complained about having to clean things like that, but I had the mindset that I should treat the bakery as if it was my own. Now working in the bakery, it required a lot of physical ability to move around and stand for long periods of time. Unfortunately, my health created a large roadblock. As hard as it was for me, and trust me, there were plenty of days where it took everything in me not to fall and cry out in pain. But still, I refused to give up. I always say, unless I'm bleeding out, then I'm not stopping until my work is done. I don't care if that means I have to crawl. I'm not giving up. There are times where I had to hold myself up using a table to make sure that I could stand and do what I needed to get done. Throughout the year, my determination to succeed has grown tremendously. Going through the advanced baking class has helped me grow a lot. My teacher, Chef Jen, has helped me accept that it's okay to be a perfectionist, but sometimes things won't always come out perfect. And that's okay. I have come out of my shell of fear and being shy a lot. Another thing that has helped me boost my confidence is modeling. I first started modeling at the age of 13. I was in a beauty pageant and I made it all the way to state finals when I was forced to drop out due to a family situation. For the time I was there, I had to speak in front of large crowds, and at that time I was too shy to even talk in front of one person. Then this past year, I was asked to model in the New York Fashion Week. I was nervous, but I pushed through my fears, and I did amazing. They have already asked me for their other shows around the world, even Paris. Of course, I have to turn down some, but I plan to continue modeling as a hobby. I am grateful that I was able to push through my struggles and achieve some amazing things. I am proud of myself for fighting my depression and continuing to pursue the journey of accomplishing my goals. I didn't give up, and that allowed me to experience some amazing things. One of those things was my internship at Few Cakes Bakery. Before going there, I knew I wanted to be a baker, but I was still undecided as to what I wanted to specialize in. Then, when I started there, I was given a tour. Then something unexpected happened. When my supervisor showed me the station where they decorated cakes, my heart fluttered. I suddenly was filled with joy and excitement, and all I wanted to do was stay there and work on cakes. At that moment, I became 100% sure that I wanted to become a cake stylist. As much as I wanted to stay at that station, I went along and finished off the Miss Lou tour and did any of the other jobs that they asked me. The staff there were amazing. They were always super helpful and friendly and just so open. They made me feel a lot more comfortable play the radio while we would work, which was a huge bonus because I work best with music on. While I was there, I got to practice folding boxes and labeling them correctly. I got to make an abundance of cake bites. There was so many different flavors and different toppings, and I got to practice them all. And some days I would even get to help cut and fill cakes. Unlike BOCES, I didn't do anything unless I was told. Whereas BOCES, I would start helping out where needed, without being asked. Since I didn't want to cross any boundaries, I stayed pretty quiet until I got to know everyone first. Although I didn't say much while I was there, I couldn't stop talking about it after I would leave. If you ask anyone who has heard me after I leave there, they will tell you I do not stop talking about it. Working there, it made me extremely happy. Doing the internship helped me more for the real world than school did. Don't get me wrong, school has taught me a lot, but nothing compares to going out there and actually learning it for yourself. I feel more students should do internships before deciding majors because, like me, it might help assure them to realize what they want to do as a career, or it may help people realize what they thought they wanted to do isn't what's best for them, saving them both time and money. As for me, I am happy to say I will be continuing at JP's Bakery. Getting a job here is a big step in the right direction. I can honestly say I'm proud of where I am today. I was able to not give up on myself. I was able to improve my skills in cake decorating. When I first started, I'd always get frustrated with myself. It was hard to get through making cake without breaking down. These are 2 cakes I made when I was 13. Not the best, but before I wasn't able to like the finished product. I was too much of a perfectionist and saw every flaw. But I was able to get past that, and now I'm proud to show off my cakes. And I'm able to become so happy every time I make a cake. And I get to show my creativity and who I really am, what I'm capable of when I make cakes. I was able to bring up my grades and maintain them in school. I even got a student of the quarter. I am so proud of I've proved to myself that I'm strong enough to get through anything, and that if I put my mind to it, anything is possible. I hope that I can go on helping others to realize that nothing life throws at you is more than you can handle. I can't take all the credit for my success of being here today. For starters, I want to thank my mom for always being so strong and never letting me give up on myself. I also want to thank my high school teachers. You have all helped to shape me into the person I am today. You guys were the first teachers to not give up on me. To not say, oh, she's got learning disorder, she'll never be anything, she'll never amount to anything. You guys actually believed in me, and that allowed me to believe in myself. I want to thank my boyfriend for always supporting me and never letting me give up. And I hope that all of you here today can leave here feeling unstoppable and chase all of your dreams because life is too short to wait for tomorrow.